Hi, everyone. This is Sue Brook at SueBrook.com and Discover Your I as in your identity.com. And I am here with John and Cheryl, and some other people are going to be joining us soon. We have an awesome Blab Love Match topic tonight. We're having a lot of fun with these blabs. Oh my gosh, last night was amazing. Top 10 challenges you face in a relationship. That was everybody's decision on what we should talk about tonight. So I love that John's here because I think it was your idea, wasn't it, John?
I think you did pick this one for me, yeah.
Something like that. And we got Cheryl here. I'm so excited. You'd be a good co-host too, Cheryl. So how are we going to start this? I know Cheryl came up with one already. So why don't you go first? Why don't you introduce yourself and your business and everything? And let's get started.
Well, hello, I'm Cheryl. My business, I have a sculpting business where I help people internally with energy healing and then externally with an ultrasound fat melting machine. Kind of on the brink of possibly doing what you're doing and ditching the business and getting more into the coaching and back to my teaching roots. And you were a teacher as well, I know. So, and have had 2 experiences with failed marriages. So.
Me too.
And both ended very friendly, very, not a lot of drama with it. So I think that with both of them, finances were definitely an issue. The first marriage, he didn't want money spent on anything. And I was teaching and had a good career and we, weren't in debt at all. And then the second marriage, he just liked to spend way too much. So I became the reversal on that role. And no, we can't spend. No, we can't buy that. And it just really, you start feeling like a parent more than a spouse.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why finances to me are like huge.
That's probably true. What about you, John?
How's everybody doing? My name's John Birch. I have johnabirch.com, motivational speaker, keynote facilitator for personality-based coaching. So a lot of the training and teaching that I do is all based off of personality assessed from Insights Learning Foundation, where we get into the personality drive and why you do the things you do in all aspects of your life. So this is a great topic.
Yeah. So what do you think one of the top 10 challenges are?
I actually wrote a list today. I have
really?
So not crazy. I actually came up with 17 different things. I could probably crunch them down to combine some of the 10. But I think the number one thing is, if you ever watch Top Gun, there's a classic song, You Lose That Loving Feeling. Tony Robbins calls it polarization. It's where we stop doing those things that we did in the beginning of the relationship. Somewhere along the line in the relationship, we stop doing those things and it becomes polarized. So we kind of lose interest in a sense.
No, I agree with that. I think that happens. I think people take your relationships for granted, especially I think Susan and I, who will be here shortly, we talked about, I think, and I usually say it's usually women because they tend to like, oh, I got the guy, I married him, and now, hey, I don't have to try anymore. I got him where I want him, and I think women tend to don't really take care of themselves as much. They don't try as hard, and they get involved. I'm not a mother, but I know a lot of women. They start taking care of the kids and everything, and they just forget that you need to, take care of that relationship. I totally agree with you, John.
Thank you.
Barry.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Barry.
Sorry, I've been out doing stuff. Couldn't get back in time.
Oh, that's okay. We're kind of going through. We just started. Introduce yourself, and we've gotten 2 out of the 10 already ideas. Whoops, I just messed up on your hosting thing. So the first one, Cheryl thinks finances, and John says losing that loving feeling. So why don't you introduce yourself, and I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to run over there for a second. But go ahead and keep going. I can hear you.
Okay. Do you want me to explain who I am?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm this crazy guy here in Texas that's looking for the right one in the wrong places. Now, I've been sort of in a relationship in the past for a very long time. Didn't know I was with the wrong one. So I've been single for a while now. Did a lot of homework after that. After I broke up, I decided to do some homework and find out what was wrong in this picture. Thought it was all me. I went through some counseling, and then some people did some coaching and mentoring me, made me notice there's a lot of blind eyes out there. We do things we don't know that's just destroying our relationships. And it's so simple to solve them if we're willing to see what's in front of us. So what I did is I became a coach and a mentor, and I help people see things most people don't really look for. It's amazing. It's like a person I can make jokes about it, but it's so true. It's like if a man is brought up, or a boy is brought up his whole life, and mom cleans everything and he never has to know how to clean anything. And then when he leaves home and tries to get married to a woman, how's he going to treat his wife? Is exactly like he treated his mom. She'll do everything, So that's sort of what I do, is I help people get out of that. Stop being that old lazy bum and figure out what can you do to really keep your relationship going,
So what would you say the challenge is? Just keeping, are you along the lines with John? That losing that loving feeling, or what?
Right. Well, it's like we got to give a little to receive a little. I make that funny joke, if you want to receive something, you need to find out what they like and what they don't like, and hopefully fill in that gap they don't want to do, do something uncomfortable a little bit to get what you want. Sometimes we can't get everything you want. So to get back what you like, you got to give a little, take a little. You heard of that?
Yeah. Two-way street,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible, but if she loves to wash dishes, I ain't going to fight her for it. Shoot, I'll take out the trash,
You're going to cook and she'll do the dishes.
Yeah. I don't mind if she wants to wash, but if she doesn't, I won't say you have to,
Right. Well, it brings up compatibility, which, I think that when everybody's in the dating phase and everything is hunky-dory, you're on your best behavior, and then you get around each other and you start dating more, and you realize you really don't have that much in common. So I think that whole compatibility issue is one of the top 10.
Oh, I agree.
Because a woman doesn't like sports, but she'll pretend she does, and she'll go to a game, and then she'll get upset when the guy wants to watch football, and it's like, you knew I liked football.
Right. It's not talk time.
Yeah, be quiet, and don't talk to me during the Lions game. I'm watching football.
Yeah. Well, you don't love me.
Yeah, right. You shopping with me? No, I don't like to shop. What do you mean you don't like to shop? Yeah.
That's pretty hilarious. I agree. I think that you nailed it. I think, in the loving phase, you have that chemistry, and I'll do anything for him or her, or whatever. Oh, sure, I'll watch football with you, honey. I love that. That's awesome. What do you guys think of that? John, you're so quiet over there.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, I'm smart. Us guys, we take notes. We're pretty smart.
Well, you're two good guys, definitely.
There was a hilarious series that comes on. I don't want to brag about it too much, but there's this Genius show where all these guys are scientists, and of course he has a good-looking girlfriend. And the funny show is the girls, of course, it's just they're in there reading this romantic book, and they're just getting so deep into it. And he just walks in wanting to say, "Hey, you know what?" And they just scream at him like hell just happened. It's so funny as how men are so different than women. Y'all just get so drawn in on certain things. And to us, we don't even give a flip, it seems like. But that's what we're like in sports. And some guys just love sports, or doing things important to us is the same. And we both got to realize, got to give you a little peace, don't jump in on somebody when something's big to them, I'll never forget when I was in the music industry, I used to play a concert, and I always had, I don't know where they would come from, right before we go on stage or during a song, they want me to talk to them, or they want me to ignore everything I'm supposed to do in front of a big crowd and pay attention to them. And it's just like, I can't do that. This is a business, here I am out on stage. I can't do that.
Oh, come on, Barry. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if I was married, maybe I'd have to, but I just like making jokes about it because I never noticed it until just recently. I started thinking back, and I didn't even notice things were going like that. You know?
Well, yeah, I think we get in those things and we forget to really notice that kind of stuff. I agree totally. But I love that Walter said that, you know, compromises and compatibility, you know, as and I'm going to bring up Susan because Susan's my good friend and I work with her on her relationship coaching. And, you know, her 3 essential ingredients are, you know, chemistry, of course, which is easy.
Yep.
Compatibility. A lot of people tend to overshadow that with their you know, the chemistry part. They, oh, I can put up with that. Oh, I can deal with that. You know, we talked about deal breakers last night, and a lot of people will tend to ignore them because, oh, they just feel that, oh, that loving feeling with all the little hearts and flowers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
And then forget about the compatibility and then
Mine's
love
the
with
third.
the
Yeah, the third one.
Okay. Oh, Walter said, I think that's why my late wife loved me so much because I'm not into watching sports. I don't know. Do all guys watch sports? My ex-husband didn't. He didn't care at all about sports. That was great. He was a musician. So what else? Cheryl, what else? You have a big list too, John. What's on your list, you guys?
I think maybe insecurities, like when you stop making the other person feel like they're important, like Barry kind of addressed that a little bit. You know, they needed that reassurance that they were important before you went on stage. I think that just the little things that you do when you're dating that you stop doing. Mm-hmm. And then when a person feels insecure, you know, just more working on themselves than the relationship. But I think that can definitely affect any relationship, no matter who it is.
Yeah, I think so too. That's on my list. So what do you think, John?
Mm-hmm. Next one I had on my list was in the top 3 was communication.
Yeah.
So poor communication, lack of communication, aggressive communication, passive aggressive communication, I think is probably one of the bigger conflicts out there, challenges in the relationships, passive aggressive communication. So I think communication skills as a whole becomes a challenge for many people in their relationships.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. I think that's number 1, to be honest with you. I think that's tops everything. But I don't know. Do you guys agree? Communication's number 1?
It's pretty high up there for sure. Yeah. I would agree with that.
That makes me laugh is you'll talk to your friends, but you won't talk to the person you're in a relationship with. That made no sense. I mean, that's who you want to talk to the most.
What'd you say, John?
As that's number 5 on my list is outside influences. So the in-laws, your friends, you know, and that's a huge thing. People, especially if there's something going south in the relationship, you know, it's natural to turn to your friends, but you need to turn to your partner first and try to square that away before you go to external, because then they start putting information into your head that you come back to the relationship with. And I think that creates just a larger challenge. You start getting those exterior influences involved.
Oh, I agree. So agree. Because your friends are always going to stick up for you, even if you're wrong there.
Yeah.
Right?
We need the button.
What do you think about social media causing problems in relationships?
Ooh, that's a good one. I've heard that it's caused a lot of problems.
Oh,
you gotta love Facebook. Come on.
Well, there's a lot of infidelity just with online dating and Twitter and Tinder. You know, you can go anywhere in the country and find somebody to meet.
You're right.
Do that.
I agree.
Yeah, that was when I was getting my degree in, or working on a degree in social psychology. One of the classes I took, we talked a lot about proximity and when it comes to relationships. So proximity played a really big role in your dating pool. You know, who was available to you. If you lived in a little town, you know, everybody knows everybody. Or if you lived in a city, you know, you had your little neighborhood. You know, you didn't really venture out past that. With social media, I mean, yeah, you can meet somebody in California, China, and India, wherever. And so the proximity factor has changed greatly with our technology.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And even
No longer just the girl next door available.
Right. You find old boyfriends and, people you dated in high school.
I've heard those stories. I've heard so many stories. Oh, my boyfriend in high school. What wasn't it last night? That girl or the night before last, Barry, that said that someone from high school came on and said, "Oh, I have the biggest crush on you," and he found her on Facebook. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good one. I like those. Yeah. So what else? Secrets in social media. I'm reading. Walter has a lot of good stuff over here. I'm into arts. I believe I brought up that last one. Communication. Yes. What else is on your list, John? You have the list here. You were actually did the homework. You're the only one that did the homework.
I did. I was the only one, and I did it before I went to bed last night. I actually took my notebook to bed with me and laid there, and I was like, "There's some good challenges here."
You're awesome.
Let's see. Another one I had. Was bringing or carrying baggage from past relationships.
Boo. Yeah.
We hold on, and I tell people, one of the big things when you look at heroes, and we talked a lot about men wanting to be heroes yesterday. When we look at people wanting to be heroes, you never see Superman flying with any luggage. He's not carrying a bag of trash behind him. He's just straight. He's free. He's moving forward. So to be a hero, you have to let that stuff go. Or as my daughter would say, the Disney movie, you got to let it go. So
I like that. That's a good one. Very cool. Barry, so something must have happened to you because you kind of went there right away when he said that. What's your story on that one?
No, it's so true. A little kid, I don't know who made the poem, but I was reading poetry of little kids and wipe away makes another day. It's like he's making a joke like, dude, just forget it. It was yesterday, and he's a little kid. I remember reading little poetry kids write. Just caught me off guard how smart they are, and we don't even realize it, It's just
the Navy SEALs train a lot with that. Speaking of like going out to San Diego, they have a big plaque in their training facility. It's a big sign. It says the only easy day was yesterday. So it just reminds them to let yesterday go. It was an easy day. Let's face today's challenges.
Well, what do you think it is that's hardest for people, once they've had the trauma from a relationship to not carry it into the next? I mean, like when a woman's been cheated on, you hear so often, or a man, they just expect that their next partner is going to do something. They're looking for it. They're looking in their phone. They're checking their emails. It's like.
And then really? They manifest it. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, really. Come on now, little PI. You're creating problems, where they really don't exist sometimes. But I don't know how, what people do to break those patterns.
That's it's a challenge for sure. It's a choice. That's one of the things I teach is it's a decision. In fact, I'm doing a blab tomorrow night based around that. It's a belief system. So you apply a meaning to that event, and most people apply a negative meaning. So whenever you get involved in that event again or in a relationship, you're going to associate that event happening to that relationship. So it's just a very cognitive thing that we do. It's based off of, very lizard brain kind of behavior of survival. You don't want to have pain. You want to avoid pain, find the pleasure. But if you've had that pain and you associate with that pain, you're going to take that pain right in with you to the next relationship. In fact, you're just going to draw people to you because that's the energy you're putting out. Yeah. You're going to draw that next person, next cheater into your life.
Right.
Yeah, I think it does have a lot to do with the infidelity issue. People who've been cheated on, they hold that in for so long, and not everybody's like that.
They don't trust anybody ever again. That's a problem. Can I trust anybody ever again? That is so hard on some people. I had it, and I just had to let it go. There was a movie I've seen recently, caught me off guard, and it made sense. There was she was a cute girl. They got engaged, and she didn't think anything was wrong until one day some guy winked at his girlfriend and he beat the blank out of that guy. And then he said, well, I didn't want nobody looking at you or trying to come on to you. And she says, well, I can't help it. If somebody's going to do it, what do you do? Well, who is it? He just kept on asking, well, who was it? Who looked at you? It's like a problem. she noticed before they got married. You know, he might have been great everywhere, but he had a jealousy that's just so far beyond, you know, normal.
Is that on your list, John? Because it should be.
Yeah,
Jealousy.
you gotta be careful. 'Cause
Jealousy,
I've seen
yeah.
girls that are
put-
jealous. I know a girl.
Yeah.
Shoot, she would just pull and like a cat, scratch your eyes out if you looked at him. You know, it's like, wow, war. Just
I put that all with like, I kind of clump that into like loss of trust, cheating, jealousy behaviors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
mhm.
But if you're a jealous person, then you know, my first husband was a jealous person, and there was nothing he had to be jealous about, but it caused so many problems.
Mhm.
But somebody told me once that if you're around someone that doesn't think you can be trusted, you know, that you know they're jealous or whatever, then they're not trustworthy themselves. You know what I mean? So if they're a cheater and they're not trustworthy themselves, but they try to make the other person like that, then you kind of know they are. Does that make any sense?
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. I just think that's a big one. If you notice someone that's really jealous and really thinks that you are not a trustworthy person, it's them that's not.
Right.
I don't know.
Projecting. Yeah, they're projecting on it. And that's the thing. Another really cool thing in the social psychology world is when you look at relationships, men get jealous over physical. So if you offer yourself physically to another man, we become jealous innately. It's natural kind of wiring within us. So that's always, you don't screw anybody else. You don't have sex with anybody else. Those type of things. You don't give your affections to somebody else in a physical way. It makes us jealous if those things occur, if we think those things are happening.
Right.
For women, however, it's emotional commitment. Any emotional commitment or emotional support lended to another woman tends to cause some great conflict and jealousy for women.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I always thought that was just a neat dynamic for the difference between men and women in that topic.
Wow. No, Susan just wrote, the reality is that the only thing you see in the world is a mirror of who you are. Ooh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to step out so Susan can come in, okay?
Only if you want to, but don't stick around.
Yeah, I'll stick around, but I'll let her hop in.
Okay.
Keep on typing stuff.
If you can't trust the one you're with and you have problems. Ooh, interesting.
It's like that song, "Love the One You're With." Remember that old song?
Hi, Susan.
Susan!
Where's Kathy? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh no, not again.
We can't hear you.
No audio.
She bought a new phone, even. I mean, a new mic. I saw that.
Oh, she did?
Well, it looked like a whole different one this time. All right.
That's
She
funny.
has more technical issues than anybody I know. Okay, so let's see.
She keeps on using different ones. Stick
We
to
have
one mic.
finance. What do we have? We have finances.
Okay, we
Yeah.
have. I'll put them in the side for us too here real quick of where we're at, because I think we've got 6 so far.
Oh, really? Well, that was quick. I think we
Yeah.
should change it to the top 100 challenges.
Great.
I'll tell
Come
you,
up with-
one we haven't put on there, a challenge I was thinking about last night too, is patience. Who is patient in a relationship?
That's interesting.
Well, I mean,
We can't hear you, Susan. No. Can't hear you. Oh, look at her.
just unplug it again and plug it back in. You did it. Or pop out and pop back in. You did good at it last time.
She's going to cry soon. She calls me with.
Tell her to stop unplugging things. No,
No.
just do like you did. Hop out and hop back in.
Yeah, go all the way out and come back in. No, go all the way out and come back in. Oh, there's.
Yeah, just refresh it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so finance. Or did you put them in there? Where are we
No,
here?
working on
No, he'll top them up.
it. I'm a slow typer.
Oh, Cheryl said, how about friends of the opposite sex? That's interesting. I've had lots of conversations with men. Susan, are you there?
Now, can you hear me?
Yay!
Okay, don't
No,
unplug that anymore. Leave it just like that.
I didn't unplug it. I just came in the door and put the headset on, and I didn't touch anything.
Mhm.
Susan, I don't know. Your computer hates you.
Yeah.
No, I want to say, Cheryl just said, how about friends of the opposite sex? And I've had so many conversations with men where can you be friends with the opposite sex. I've had huge conversations with people. People are like, there's no way you can just be friends. And, you know, I think you can, but with men, maybe they really can't. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? That's a good topic. I like that. Can you just be friends with some member of the opposite sex?
I think so.
It's a girl.
I think women can. No? You're not speaking.
I think you can to a degree. I think it takes.
It's easier for a woman to be a friend than a man in some way.
I think it takes a great deal of trust on
Mhm.
the partner's part to allow that to happen. You
Okay.
know?
So do you
But I
think,
think it's possible.
Well, here's
absolutely
a
possible.
question. Sue, all right, I'll say you got in a relationship with a man and you found out he has 2 or 3 girlfriends that are pretty cute and they talk all the time. Would that make you jealous or would that not bug you at all? That he wants to spend time with them.
I can't generalize it. I don't know. I mean, I never was a jealous person, and I believed in my last husband. Okay, the one that
Yeah.
cheated on me and left me for my best friend. So she and I.
Uh-oh, now she's freezing up.
She'll come back in 3.
I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I
No.
promise. I didn't do a thing.
See if you can hear us. Hit a
And
little
my
refresh.
husband
there.
were all really-
Oh, that's her
There
internet.
she goes.
Her internet
She's got
loves
it.
doing waves on her. But
Sure, even it's not working.
well, she sort of was answering a question. I'll say this. I have a lot of friends that are girls. But if I ever get a girlfriend, I better back down talking to them because jealousy I've seen is very big on other women that I've been with. Maybe it's not every girl, but a lot of girls don't want me wasting, she says, my time with them when I should be with her. One thing made me
Yeah,
laugh.
that's-
If I wanted to do something, she didn't want me to. She wanted me to just come and sit and watch a TV show with her and do nothing for the whole day, just spend time with her. That really was hard for me for a while to do that, to walk away from doing things I really like doing just to spend time with them. So that's where I noticed jealousy sort of with other friends. If I want to be with my other friends, that's where I had to watch it. You know, I need to ask permission or do something because I don't want to get stabbed in the back, you know. Now, I probably would be the same if there's a pretty hot guy she's talking to too. I'd like to know if you're going to be talking to him.
Here's the thing, you guys. You can't be everything to another person.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. You have to be able to have contact with other people in the world, or you're just going to dry up and disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Say,
did.
say that again. Trust. We need to have trust, right?
Mhm.
Need to trust
That's
your partner.
I put that 8 on my 8th on my list. Actually, 8 and 9 are for Susan from our talks from last night. I was just thinking about her, but losing. Actually, Sue, this one's for you as well. But losing your identity, yourself in the relationship. So losing who you are in the relationship causes challenges.
Yes, absolutely.
biggest. That's because of my book. That's where the book came from. Anyway, I did totally lose my identity completely. No one knew who I was, and I see women do that, especially women. But I have seen men. I know a man right now who's with his girlfriend, and he's given up everything for her. And I'm like, don't do that. I've taken him aside. Don't do that. You still have to have your own thing. That to me is huge, like huge for me anyway. I mean, that was perfect. Susan, that goes along with what you said. You can't put yourself in that little 4 walls. You know, like, you know, Lou, our friend Lou, who is Filipino, and then her, you know, their culture is they go from home straight to a husband and having kids and raising them. And I was having this talk with her. We've had long discussions because now she's found her identity in the world, and she's leaving those 4 walls, and she's seeing the outside world for the first time, and she's in her 40s, and she's like seeing this brand new opportunity for her in the world, because she even says, I just was in those 4 walls of my house, and it's amazing to see the transformation that someone like her has gone through, as I did. So that's big. Thank you for bringing that up.
Well, I mean, it was a long time ago I noticed this. It's like the people who got married and then they cut off each other's friends and they just wanted to spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with each other.
Yep.
And what happens is their relationship went to the dogs, because literally you have nothing to talk about. You have no other outside interests. You have nothing that stimulates the relationship. And so what happens is one person shuts down, then the other person shuts down, and then you're not even the people that you started being attracted to in the first place.
I
Talk about that. When two people are on the same mindset or the same path, it's fun for a short time, but then what happens long term? There's no challenges, right? They're both doing exactly the same thing every day.
I mean, it's like if you don't grow, I mean, you really get stagnant. I'm sorry. I think growth is probably the most significant part of any relationship. And both parties have to grow. If you don't, one is going to outgrow the other, or, you know, the relationship is just going to die because it gets boring.
Mike just said that. It's boring. He wrote boring.
Yeah.
True. It does. Yeah, I did that. Like, I had nothing to talk about but my husband all the time. It was like, that's all I ever talked about to anybody else and to him. And it was just like, no wonder he went somewhere else. What else was I, you know? So, yeah. Excellent.
I like that. Boring, he wrote. Yeah.
And the next one I had on the list was for Susan. When sex goes south.
There you go, Susan.
What's that?
Challenge.
I've never seen
Big
that.
challenge.
What's that?
I can tell you why that happens. I really have a good understanding of this one.
Oh,
Okay, go, Susan.
So, okay,
You're getting ready.
chemistry, which is really significant in a relationship. Chemistry is about sex. It's about attraction. It's about this chemical reaction that happens between people, and you want to be together. Chemistry never goes away, but there's a big but there. The big but, you know, the big one flashing, big but.
Big butt.
But is this.
Like
giggles.
But I cannot. Oh,
It
sorry.
can be smothered. And what happens is it gets smothered by anger and frustration. So you have this relationship. You've got a man and a woman. They're very attracted. They're very turned on to each other. They have great chemistry. They're totally in love. They can't keep their hands off of each other. They cannot stay away from each other. And then they have an argument. And the argument never gets resolved.
Mm-hmm.
It's partially resolved, and then one of them takes the leftover stuff, puts it in a little box, puts it on a shelf. Then the other one stores up a little bit of piece, and they put it on their shelf. And then what happens is they start throwing it at each other later on, and it's like you really need to.
It's like holding a weapon from behind to throw back at you.
Yeah, you need to get the bottom of what's really the source of this argument that you're having, because it's usually never what you're actually arguing about in the first place. It's actually about something that happened way back in your childhood. You made a decision about it, and that's what you're arguing about, and you don't even know it. And so what happens is that the anger, because men tend to stuff anger and women tend to express it, and then men turn off because women are expressing it and the men stuff it, and the women get frustrated because they can't get from the man what they're actually angry about. And so what happens is the anger smothers the chemistry, and that's what happens to sex. Does that explain it, John?
Hey, John, we got this on tape.
Yeah, we got this recorded.
I
That's
know,
right.
she admitted women do have anger.
Hold on, let me get my calendar. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, really, did I answer it, John?
Yeah. No, I completely agree that it's, I think there's definitely, I think that whenever stress enters a relationship, I think that sex is probably one of the first things that we sacrifice, that we let go of, instead of saying, hold on, time out. What's a great stress relief? Hey, would you say it's the best thing we can do for free?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I am totally in agreement with that.
It's exercise. So, get that stress out.
Solver too, though.
So, yeah. So don't let it go south. But we tend to do that.
In the back of this book, this first book,
Mhm.
in the back, there is the last thing in the book is a thing called, it's called Relationship Spring Cleaning for Couples.
Nice.
Thing.
Okay. And what it is it's like you reserve the time to have this conversation, and you start out by saying, I get angry when you this, and he gets to say, and then she gets to say, and then he gets to say, and then she gets to say. And then you say, I get frustrated when this, and then he gets to say, and she gets to say. And you go through all the things. I get angry, I get frustrated, I get stifled, I get, I want to kill you, I hate you when. I mean, literally, you can get all the way down to I hate you when this happens. And then you go through all the things you can think of that you need to say. And then you go from there to, I really appreciate you when you do this. I really like you when you do this. I really love you when you do this.
Why I fell in love with you, right?
I'm really attracted to you when you do this. And I live without you when you're like this. And what happens if you do this exercise and you do it clearly and really well, and you do it sometimes you even need a monitor to say, okay, you don't get to respond, you don't get to argue, you don't get to do anything. You just have to say thank you when the other person says something. And you go through this exercise. If you don't end up in bed having great sex, hot sex, you haven't done the exercise right.
Cracking John up.
I love it.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Kim. Are you listening to this?
No, not really. I'm packing my car. I have to leave.
Aw.
You're leaving now?
Yeah, and I'm leaving too.
Actually, I'm just going over to the airport because I have to pick my husband up in the morning at the airport, and I don't want to deal with LA traffic.
Oh. So what do you do?
You know what
Kathy
that's
has a
like,
traffic
right, Sue?
phobia.
You know what that's like, right, Sue?
Oh, I hate traffic. Yeah. Cassie and I are the kind of people that we have our GPSs, and if we're in traffic, it's like, okay, recalculate, take me somewhere else. I need a detour. I can't do this.
Alternative routes.
Susan gets so mad at us. I
Hey, Barry, you give me insight here.
Mm.
Take care. Safe travels.
Bye. I'll see you later. All right.
Oh my God, the dog.
Yeah, see you next week. Come on, Roxy.
That dog barks more than any.
I have to drive to San Francisco tonight.
Oh, okay. So anyway, no, I like what do you guys think of what Susan said about all that? I love it.
It's a great exercise. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I think it's cute when I've heard people had to make love before they went to bed when they're mad, just to see if they can still be mad in the morning. It's just so fun. Nobody can go to bed angry, so they made a joke to where you got to make love before you go to bed. It was so funny.
Yeah, you really shouldn't go to bed angry. You should try to talk. And if you can't talk, then go sleep in separate rooms.
Okay.
Sometimes that makes you even madder on some people. So, yeah.
Susan,
Yeah.
Tony Robbins, and I know I bring him up a lot. He's just a great mentor.
Well,
I
I did Tony Robbins years and years.
Yeah, I actually on my dream board, I'm the next Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
So that's how much my affection for this guy is incredible.
Let me
Just because of the impact he has on people. You can take, what's that?
1990.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 35 years. I think he's out there
around
doing his stuff. So,
I think highly of him too. I actually did a one-night session. I did a weekend session, and then I did 2 weeks of certification in Austin, Texas, with Tony Robbins.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I love how he's able to take one person out of a crowd of 5,000.
Two women.
Yeah, that's where Sue was going to go. Come on, you know that was happening there.
I did Tony Robbins. Okay.
That's right.
Oh my God.
But he does a really great. There's actually a video on YouTube you can find. And he brings the guy up on stage, and he just talks about pizza and he walks the guy through from what he thinks about a normal, here's a cheese pizza. And he says, what do you think about this? And it's like on a scale of -10 to a +10, he says, like, it's a 2, He says, okay, what would make it a -2?
Yeah.
He's like, it'd be cold, And he walks him all the way down to a -10. It's like it's moldy, it's
Dog
gross,
or
it's horrible. And then he walks him back up and he says, okay, well, what makes it a +4? Well, the cheese is, nice and gooey. And then he gets him all the way up to a 10. It's like this thick crust. It's steamy. It burns your mouth. It's so hot. There's all these toppings. And you just see how just in 2 minutes, he gives this guy an emotional change, an emotional range. And it's very similar to what you just described in that exercise. That's what came to mind when you were talking about that, is like, go through that range of emotions and then realize, like, do I want to be in this negative state? No, I don't want crappy, moldy pizza. I want hot, sexy pizza,
Sexy pizza. I love it.
I love hot, sexy pizza with bell pepper and onions on it.
There you go.
No onions. And no green pepper.
Serial, we've got 8 down on the list so far. I think we just lost 2 again.
She'll be back in a
So
second.
we've got 8 on the list. I have a few more that are kind of unique.
What else?
In the sense of, let's see, I put down. No, we said that one. This was kind of a bonus one. This actually I just wrote on the side. Was the concerning children, and your rearing of children. So the conflict comes in, or challenge comes in with the ideals of raising children, and who has the better methods, or they don't come with instruction books, so you got to kind of figure that out, and that tends to cause a lot of challenges for relationship if you enter in the dynamic of children. And I think one of the best books I've read said, get a plant. If you can get the plant to stay alive, get a fish. If you get the fish to stay alive, then get a cat or a dog. If you can keep the cat or a dog alive, then maybe consider having children. And it really, because it teaches you those dynamics. Hey, you didn't water the plant. Hey, you didn't feed the kids. Builds on it.
So, I just had a discussion with Kathy while we went to dinner, and we were driving back, and I was talking about, that very same thing. And I said, you know what? I have absolutely no idea how to raise kids. I have 3 daughters. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. And we look at all of our kids, all the nieces and nephews we have. Some are awesome. Some are really messed up. Some are doing great. Some are screwed up. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? It's a crapshoot.
Right.
It's a total crapshoot. You have no idea what you're doing with your kids.
Yeah.
You can be really rigid with them and they turn out wonderful. You can be loose with them and they turn out wonderful. You can be rigid with them and they turn out like assholes, and you can be loose with them and they turn out like assholes. So it's like, you know what? I don't think that there's anything that is consistent about raising kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids, they were angels. They were wonderful. I had 3 beautiful, smart, super intelligent, honor student kids all the way up through middle school. And then they turned into monsters. Absolute monsters.
They found boys.
Yeah.
They found boys.
Or boys found them, maybe.
I mean, they were crazy. It was insane. And I'm like,
They found out they're smarter than we are.
I have a grandson, my grandson, who is just, he's brilliant. He's super smart. I mean, I have 5 grandchildren. So one of my grandsons, actually 2 of them, they're like brilliant, really, really super, super smart. A students, honor students all the way. This grandson, he has had on his Facebook since he was 10 years old that he's going to Stanford. He plays for the Lakers. He's an honor student. He's everything. All of a sudden he turns 14 and it's like, who is this kid? Where did my grandson go? Because this is not him. Yeah. And I remember that I used to say about my own kids, it's like, You raise them, you teach them everything you know, you give them all the values and everything you can possibly give them until they're 12 years old, and then you just hang on for the ride and hope they don't do any permanent damage.
Great. My son just turned 12. That's awesome.
I don't know what else to tell you because honestly, I've experienced.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's something I've been studying on for a long time. Kids, once they hit around 12 to 13, they no longer want to be taught. They want to show you what they can do. They want to brag, and don't you dare try to teach them, because remember, they're smarter than we are.
They're smarter than we are. They know more than we do, and their hormones are running them.
Oh, and they're so confused every day. Yeah.
You just have to hope they don't do any permanent damage. And honestly, I believe that that is the truth. I mean, I was talking about this with Kathy on the way home from dinner tonight. I'm like, I have no idea. I mean, I've studied this. I've studied relationship. I've studied child development. I have studied this for years and years and years. And I can't tell you. I have no idea what makes kids turn out good and what makes them turn out bad. And they're not really bad. None of them are ever really bad. They just make bad choices.
Yeah. Well, that's what they see. I'm not licensed, so I can't claim it legally, but look at Tiger Woods. He grew up his whole life playing for his dad. He became the best golf player of all time until his dad passed away. He can't play anymore. It's not because he doesn't know how to play. It's a mental thing. He has in his mind, I have no one to play for anymore. Have y'all ever noticed that?
No.
That's a lot of people. I help them with their children. You know, mom and dads work a regular job and they don't have time for their kids. And I'm trying to tell them that kid's going to get 12 or 13 and it's too late. You already screwed it up. You screwed their mind up so much they don't need to be wanted.
I mean, honestly, my kids, they had so much attention and they were so good. And then they turned 12 and their hormones went crazy. And it was like, oh, where did my girls go?
Yeah.
Where did they go? What happened? You know?
They get invaded by poltergeists.
Aliens.
I've been around hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids. I do not have kids, but I'm going to write a parenting book because I have seen the all different kinds of parenting. I have seen it all, and I've seen how the kids are, and how a lot of them. I've taught them since they were in pre-kindergarten up through now there was one I think actually had a kid. So I have seen what good parenting is, and it's the parents that don't baby their kids. They teach them responsibility at a young age. They don't talk to them like little kids. They give them responsibility. I don't know. They treat them like little adults.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't matter if you do that, because I did that with mine from the time they were 2 years old. I taught them how to cook when they were 2 years old. I taught them how to go to the store. They bought things on their own. They were totally independent. Mm-hmm. And they still got to be monsters when they turned 12.
And yes, of course that happens. I mean, I've just seen, the parents that take care, like do everything for their kid and don't let them just make mistakes and go get dirty and screw up once in a while and go out on their own. I don't know. I've just seen so many different ones, and I'm just generalizing. It's not every single one. Of course that happens with some of them because there's outside influences. Kids are at the school with people and you can't control that a lot of the times. But anyway.
What happens actually is, I mean, my girls, when they were 16, each one of them came to me and said the same thing. You know, Mom, I'm really sorry for all the nasty things I've said to you. Even when I'm saying them, I don't know why I'm saying them, but I can't help myself. And I apologize, but I don't think I'm done yet. And from the time they were 12 till they were about 18, I didn't even know who they were. They were just so crazy.
Mm-hmm. They're growing up. They want to be grown-ups.
Okay, so now, my oldest one, she's a great mom. She has 4 kids of her own. And my middle daughter is in her mid-30s, I don't know. She's 40. She's 40-something, actually, I think. And she has this 14-year-old who was this model child. I mean, he was just so awesome. And it's like, oh my God, Zachary, what are you doing? And I look at them and I think to myself, you know what? They're getting what they deserve because this is how they were when they were that age. However, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I have a friend, he and I used to argue all the time about how to raise kids. He used to tell me, oh, your kids are going to be monsters because you just give them too much independence. And he had his thumb on them every single second. Well, his kids turned out to be these model adults. Mine are model adults too. But honestly, they were monsters for a while.
Okay, so I was trying to figure out, because I got booted off, why we were talking about this all of a sudden, but now I see number 9, child rearing. Okay.
Children.
How do we get off on this? So crazy. Now that's a good blab.
How do you
Okay.
stay in a relationship when the kids drive you bonkers? Yeah, that's one.
So John, let's go back to all these. And did you get answers to all these things?
No, I thought we were going to do that after. I thought after we came up with the 10, we'd go back through them. That's kind of why I'm logging them there.
Okay.
So, and then one last one that I had on my list that I think is pretty important is career pathway differences.
Okay.
I don't know if it fits in the top 10.
Well,
There are top 10 challenges you face in a relationship. Communication.
So we have communication, finances, losing that loving feeling, compatibility, social media, carrying baggage. Carrying baggage from past relationships, lack of trust or unfaithfulness, jealousy, the sex goes south, child rearing differences. So that's our 9 so far.
Okay, so I'll tell you my feelings about all of them, if you want to know.
no, we don't want to know.
That's what we're here for, right?
So communication, what I say about communication, and this is what I teach my clients, every single one of them, is you need to say what you mean and mean what you say. Absolute authenticity is, and you need to be vulnerable. You need to really say what you mean and mean what you say and be vulnerable. And if you as partners cannot be vulnerable with each other, then that goes all the way down to number 7, which is trust. So you need to be able to trust that this person is going to be on your side and is going to have your back no matter what. And so you need to tell the truth, always. That's my feeling about communication. Mm-hmm. Finances, I don't know if I have the right answer for that. I honestly think people should have their own money. You know, the woman should have a little bit of her money, the man should have a little bit of his money, and they should have another, like a joint account where they pay their bills out of it and they each contribute money to it. I never did it that way. It was always a disaster. Finances were a disaster for us, but they were a disaster because my husband didn't think he deserved to earn any money, and I earned all the money, and I got pissed off about the fact that I was paying all the bills. So, but I think that if you do finances that way, where each one has a little bit of their own money and they have a joint fund that they pay their expenses with, and maybe they even have a 4th fund that they do for fun. I think that is probably the most effective way of doing finances. And I've
had, just to throw this in there, I know I had a friend whose husband made all the money, and she was at home, you know, being the stay-at-home mom, and she went and got a job so that she could have her money, so she could buy gifts for him, but he didn't, you know, that kind of thing. And it just helped her self-esteem. So if nothing else, it just helps each person's self-esteem that they have their own stuff that they can do, and if they want to buy something for the other person or whatever. So I agree with that totally.
What do you think, John?
What?
Yeah, I agree. I think that finances is the number one reason people claim for divorcing. You know, it's statistically, you know, people point to finances was the cause to the demise of the relationship. So I think the fix it for the way I look at it is basically set a budget, live within the budget. And again, you just go back to the communication factor of always communicate about money, how you're spending it, how you're using it, how you're saving it, how you're investing it. Yeah, it all fits into that.
You know, having some ground rules like I won't spend more than this much money without just talking about it with you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's a limit. Maybe it's $500. Maybe it's $100. Maybe it's whatever. But it's like, I'm not going to go and commit us for $2,000 without talking to you about it.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
and then there just needs to be a number. I mean, you need to pick that number. Maybe the number is 1,000. Maybe it's 500. Maybe it's 100. You know, it just depends on what kind of finances you're dealing with.
Right.
The
wife who says, I saved $100 today because she got a $200 dress on sale for $100. That's funny. Mike wants to know, when you're dating, does a man pay? That's kind of off this topic, but that's a good question. What do you guys think?
It depends.
Depends.
Oh, I
If a
don't
man
know.
pays, he's a man.
No.
If he doesn't pay, he's a bad man. It's just it's confusing.
I think it depends. I think you're
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think 50 years ago, that was kind of our social norm.
Yeah.
I think today, with women becoming more independent and breaking the ceiling, and getting out there and earning their own way, I've dated plenty of women that, you know, I got it. And I was like, it took a lot for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you can pay, huh? You know, so that took a little bit. I don't expect it. I don't go into, you know, any adventure or date or anything like that going like, oh, she's got it. You know, I've even joked with girls like, hey, when are you going to take me out for a drink? You know, and just to kind of bring the humor into things, show that I'm a funny guy type stuff. But I think that, you know, it's if you're paying all the time, I think that does cause stress. You know, there has to be an equal contribution. I think that's just in all parts of the relationship, there has to be an equal. I want a partner, you know, I don't want somebody.
Yeah. There's two people, Beth, which her name's really Meg. Anyway, she said whoever asked the person out on the date should pay.
That's sort of the
That's
joke
good
I was
rule.
going to put out.
That's good rule.
If I have,
I honestly think it depends on the situation. I mean, if you're going on a first date and somebody just asked you out, I think she's right. I think whoever asks is the one who's going to pay. But I think after you're seeing each other for a while and you have a little more knowledge of the financial situation, it might be, you know, let's share, let's split, let's do this, you know, depending what you're doing and what you want to do.
Okay, Ed says man pays every time. Why do you say that, Ed? A woman asks man to go to a play or something at $100 party that has a ticket. So yes, someone should pay. Take her out for a burger. Meg. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
What?
I want to go to the next one.
Okay. Which one?
That loving feeling, I think it's the same as number 8. And I think I already answered it. I think that, you know, that attraction, that chemistry can get buried with anger. I think it's the only thing that really affects chemistry is anger and frustration. And I think if you stuff the anger, even if you don't stuff the anger and you're fighting all the time, I think it can affect the chemistry. And let me tell you something else about anger is anger has, I think it's 7 of the 9 elements of passion. So it's like sex when you're angry can be just as good as it is when it's good, because the chemistry, the elements of anger are the same thing as passion.
I don't know.
You can have great sex when you're pissed off.
well, that's something we were thinking about the other day, and I don't know if y'all got what I was making the point at, but it is true. It's a fact. They've proven it. If you have sex or you make love while you're mad, sometimes you're a little rougher with each other, and it's sort of like who's going to kick who's, you know what? It's like you're trying to impress the other person more because you're so mad at them that you got to do your best to make them not think you're a wuss, you know?
Right.
And that's what's so fun about sort of being mad and having that, because now you're competing with each other, and it's not really for me to compete to how good I can get for myself. It's to make her happy.
It's the same thing about makeup sex. It's the same, you know, makeup sex is all about getting rid of the anger. You know,
I'll never forget a funny couple of shows, and they would always get in an argument, and they said, well, are we going to finish this argument before we make love, or are you going to finish it now? And they would just make up their mind, if we're going to go make love, then we'll talk about it later. It was just so cute because they wanted to have kids, you know. So they were just making a joke about it to where, you know, later they don't even remember what they were arguing about anymore. It was so stupid, you know.
anyway,
That's how they got the steam off. You got to release the steam, you know.
well, it's all about tumescence. You know about tumescence, don't you guys know about tumescence? Have you ever heard my lecture on tumescence, Sue?
No.
Okay. So tumescence is all about building up of pressure and then releasing. So when a man gets an erection, he has tumescence, okay? And a little bit of release causes the tumescence. Well, if you look at the world is all about tumescence. War is about tumescence. The tides are about tumescence. Weather is about tumescence. It builds up and it releases and then it gets less. So our world operates on tumescence, and it's all about sexual energy. So it's just my little lecture on tumescence.
Here we go. Meg said to what? Here, I think it's spelled like this, Meg. There you go.
Yeah, messes. You're right.
She's laughing. Oh, Susan, you're just a plethora of knowledge. I swear to God. Okay, where are we here? Beth wants.
We're on compatibility. What does that mean, John?
That came from somebody, I don't remember exactly who offered that in the comments.
When I was talking about compatibility yesterday?
Someone mentioned it tonight.
Yeah, somebody mentioned it in the comments. I don't remember who. I apologize. Early on, when we first started chatting, somebody threw in the comments, what about compatibility? So we threw that on the list.
You know, the thing I think about compatibility is this. You have to have compatibility with your deal breaker issues. You don't have to have it with everything else. You can differ on everything if it's not a deal breaker issue. But if it's a deal breaker issue and you differ on it, you're going to have problems at some point. And the deal breaker issues can be anything. I mean, it can be smoking. It can be language. It can be the way you dress. It can be sex. It can be alcohol, drugs.
Annoying things. People just let it go for so long and it finally blows up like a bomb. Annoying.
It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a compatibility issue, and your compatibility issues come from your childhood. So, you know, I think that you can have a lot of compatibility issues as long as they're not the deal breakers. It doesn't matter. You know, you can differ on everything. You can argue about politics till you're blue in the face, and, you know, who cares? We're not changing the world anyway with our political issues or views, you know. So,
but that's important.
Shoot, I'm going to be the president. What are you talking about?
You're going to be president, Barry?
Shoot, somebody has to.
I vote for you.
Yeah, kicks them. You know what?
That's on my dream board as well, Barry. I'm going to run in.
You're gonna run for president?
When I'm 55, one of my goals is to run for president.
What scares me is the president's just barely older than me right now, and he's not my favorite friend. So,
all right, we need a number 10. But somebody, did you say her name was Meg? Sue? Meg said to explain number 5. That came from earlier in the blab as well, in conversation, and it was brought up at the impact of social media on relationships. And one of the things I mentioned there was proximity has changed. You know, we used to date the girl next door, the girl in the neighborhood, the next farm, maybe the next village, you know, or in our neighborhood in the city, or you know, suburbs or whatever. But with the impact of social media, Facebook, so on and so forth, this platform, you can meet people around the world. So the proximity factors changed greatly, and where you can meet people, I think that presents some of its own challenges as well. But I think the bigger thing that was kind of mentioned was how people reconnect with old lovers, high school lovers and things along that line, and it impacts your current relationship, creates challenges in the current relationship as well.
And I have a couple things about the negative part of social media. Okay. There's two things that bother me about. One is having serious conversations by text.
Mm-hmm. That should be on the list. Texting should be on the list.
Yeah.
Well, slash social media texting.
Texting's the worst.
I think that people who break up by text should be shot.
Off with your head.
Okay. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I don't really think that people should share their innermost fears, feelings, arguments, differences with their spouse and their significant others on Facebook.
Where were you years ago? No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I just think it's stupid. I mean, really, what are you doing? Saying, oh, my husband did this today. And it's like, no, that doesn't belong in social media. It belongs in your intimate relationship. And I'm so sorry, but I hate that. I really hate it.
I do too. And you see it. It's so funny. You see people putting stuff out there. I mean, with just friends or with their partner. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You're breaking up with somebody.
I put it in here.
Putting all this crap on it.
Yeah.
I put it in here so my kids can read it after I die.
Okay, that's
right.
Journal it.
Yeah. Facebook, give me a break. No way.
Oh, yeah, here's something I love joking about is Facebook. Do you ever really see people talking about the truth of their life, or they just talk about their fancy imaginary world that they want to live in? You know, like, look at this cool little car I bought, or look at this vacation I went on, or look at this. They don't ever tell you the truth about, what really happened, how they spilled their frying oil all over the floor. It's so funny. I laugh about that. We don't really see the whole truth of what's going on. We just see what they want us to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
But Twitter's weird. Twitter will talk about going and buying toilet paper. I mean, they go into stuff sometimes too far.
I just think that, some things deserve to be private.
Yeah, I agree.
Just some. Not everything. I mean, there's a lot you can share on it. There's a lot that's wonderful that you can share on it. I mean, my grandson making his first public speech. That was awesome. I love that my daughter put that on there. He's 7 years old and he was campaigning and she put his speech on Facebook, and it's like so cool, But I had an argument with my husband tonight about whatever. No.
The way he made his goulash.
Belong there.
Yeah. Too funny.
Okay.
I think
I'm still on my soapbox tonight, you guys.
that's awesome.
I guess. Wow.
There's a really good comment on the side from Meg. She says, "What about a couple where one is a social media addict and the other one is not? So one is online all the time during their personal time." And I put down that boundaries have to come into play. And on top of that, before you answer Susan or Sue or Barry, the other thing that it made me click about, because I was just helping write a social psychology paper on porn addiction. So that comes in as it's a fairly newer social addiction for men, especially, but it's growing in women. So it's really neat to look at some of those numbers and see that the challenges it's creating in relationships.
Oh, it is. I think that, there's so much. I mean, the porn on the internet it's good and it's bad. Okay. Porn is not bad in itself. It's just bad when it becomes an addiction. It's bad when it interferes with a relationship. But, watching porn to get turned on and have great sex is fun. I mean, it doesn't have to be bad. It only becomes bad when it's out of proportion to what you really want to do.
Right.
And even then, I don't know that bad is the right word, but it's disruptive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not even really bad. It's just disruptive, and it's a distraction. It's another addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And we all, believe it or not, I mean, my belief is that every single one of us has addictions. Every single one of us has addictions of some kind. It might be work. It might be TV. It might be reading. It might be alcohol. It might be drugs. It might be, it could be running. It could be physical fitness. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Cliff said blab.
It could be blab.
It could be blab.
Go live a life, y'all. Get out. No.
We all have addictions of some sort, and I think that you can replace an addiction that doesn't serve you with one that does. So, I mean, I honestly think that's kind of what AA is. You've got an addiction to alcohol, and you go to AA, and you replace it with your addiction for AA meeting. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. I could be totally full of shit. You know that.
You know nothing, Susan.
I know. I'm okay. Know it or not know it. I just have opinions. I'm very opinionated.
Well, Google's got good. Y'all can do your homework. Type it in and find out how kids today, their brains are thinking different because of pornography and stuff. They're not thinking like normal boys did growing up.
So I will say this. One thing that I think is true is I think that kids with the video games and stuff, they don't really understand about dying. Because my little grandson, Jack, he's 7, and he says, "Oh, I just died 3 times." And I'm like, Jack, that's not really true, Right. And it's like, I think those games tend to trivialize the concept of death because you get killed in a game, and you get 3 lives and you get to die 3 times. And then when they go out in the world and the gangs are out there and they're shooting each other, they have no idea. And I worked in the emergency room for 40 years, and I saw lots of people get shot and killed. And it was like these gang members, they don't think anything of it. They shoot people because they're in their way.
Wow.
And it was horrifying.
Well, they don't control. Nobody has any control. They don't know what the limit is of, That's what I was saying. The internet's getting a little out of control on information.
I mean, that actually is kind of part of social media too.
Yeah. Do you remember back when we were young kids, you would ask mom or dad a question, they just wouldn't give you the answer and say, "How come?" They just wouldn't tell us the answer. It's like, you just don't need to know. Well, how come I can't do that? Just don't do it. How come? You don't need to know.
Because I said so.
Yeah, that old saying. You don't hear that anymore. Kids now just Google it and find out why.
I say it all the time.
Google it.
I mean, they Google it, and it's so funny. It's like,
because I said so. That's why you can't do it.
I know.
They don't understand authority anymore, and it's just scaring me to bonkers off of that because they have no limit anymore. They don't understand control.
And that's why I quit teaching in the public school system.
Yeah.
You got kids going, "You can't do that. I'll call child abuse." Like, here's the phone. Have a great.
You have kids.
I'm going to beat you with it first.
Well, that's
You better touch me, or I'll call the cops and tell them you're abusing me.
Well, that's sort of what I wanted to bring up at the end. I don't think it'd be number 10, but it's like when you're in a relationship, what are you walking into that you're going to have to be part of? Because if they have kids, you're going to have to sort of help them. Hopefully be on the side to help their kids get better, or are you going to be the guy that ignores them and acts like it's not my problem? I mean, what are you going to do?
You have to decide what you want.
I mean, you got to make a commitment. Are you going to make a long-term relationship, or is this just a short-term, have fun, and then break up and go find another one?
But some single parents don't want anybody interfering with their kids.
But they don't.
This is where we need Meg in here. Meg, are you sure you can't come in for a second? This is perfect for her. She is a single mom. She's raised her son all by herself, and yeah, very, very interesting.
Here, get her in here. I'll step out.
No, y'all gonna pick on me. I'll be out.
Anyway, yeah, no, I think the kid thing, I think maybe nowadays there's so many parents that have their own kids. They've been divorced and then they get together and now they have, this person has kids and this person has kids, or one doesn't have kids and the other one does. I'm sure that's huge. I don't know.
She said she's got to go kids Dancing with the Stars.
So, I mean, I don't think that people should bring their kids into their relationships unless they're sure they're going to have a long-term relationship.
Well, I don't know guys, but I tell a lot of girls I know that are young in their 20s, have children and they don't have a husband anymore. I tell them, you make sure before that kid gets to meet that guy that you like him, because that kid might like him more than you.
Because
then you're just devastating them.
And that's hard on the children.
They get very attached and they feel abandoned when that person.
Because I'll admit it, I've been around some that I don't even want to date them, and the kids just want me to marry their mom. Really bad, because I get along with kids great. I get on their level, I'll say. I know how to get on a kid's level in a blink. blink of an eye.
Is that because you're immature?
Say that again? Does that mean I'm immature? Is that what you were saying?
Is that because you're immature? Because
No, I know it so well. It's because I didn't have it and I wanted it so bad. I learned what kids really think. Kids are not as dumb as people think they are.
I was going to say, because I admit all the time to being very immature.
No, you, Susan?
Yep. I might be 72 years old, but I'm very immature.
So, Barry, are you looking for someone that has kids already? Or do you still think you want to have your own? You're 49.
I'd love to have my own, but I don't know if that's going to be possible, So I don't know. I might adopt instead, just to stop punishing the kid, or to help one that's already here instead of bring one into this world.
You're not 50, are you? You're 49?
I just hit 49.
Just turned.
I know a lot of the guys that my husband used to coach, wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there's at least 4 of them who didn't even get married until they were in their late 40s, and they started having kids in their 50s.
Yeah.
And they love it.
But I wanted to be that kid when I was 25 to have a child. If it's a daughter, would be great. If it's a son, be great. Either one, really. I think a daughter would have been fun for me, because then I'd have a girl that would never leave me. I wouldn't have to worry about it. She'd love me forever. And I'd treat her like, a princess, of course. Take her on cute dates all of her life and teach her everything about a boy's trick, what to watch out for.
Sounds you got to write a book there, Barry.
I got to, man. I've been doing it for 25 years in the ministry, and so I've learned a lot what parents forget.
My husband, when he was alive, he used to, this is bad, he used to clean his gun when the boys would come to pick up the girls.
That's old fashioned. Yeah, that's just like honest truth.
He did these crazy things. Of course, these guys, they loved him. They thought the sun rose and set on his head. All these guys, they would come and date our daughters, but he would be, and what's your intention here? And he would do all this crazy stuff with them, and he'd be cleaning his gun when they're there, and he'd chase them in and out, and they loved him. They absolutely adored him. And I'm like, really? I thought they'd be running the other way, but they didn't. They loved it, that he was like, this is my daughter, and don't you mess with her, because you're going to have to answer to me.
Well,
and he was out with them.
There was a girl, and she was dating this guy, and the dad, of course, was saying some nice things and saying, this is my daughter, blah, blah, blah. Well, he came to the youth deal that night, and I was there, and I had a speech with him. I said, hey, I'm not her dad, but she's like my little girl. And trust me, if I see anything or hear anything, I know where you're at. I didn't threaten him like I'm going to kill him, but I'm saying you cannot hide what's going around, because, dude, I wasn't her dad. So I know everybody, all of his friends. I know everything that goes on. And what's great is they're married now. He waited. He didn't push into a relationship too quick, and now they're married and have a cute daughter. But he sort of thanked me for that, because I did scare him in a way to where he realized he would have jumped in and tried something too early, and probably would have broke up with her. But he.
So go ahead.
No, that's it. It's just he found out that people loved her, and that made her feel, like I don't have to have a man. Man, I'm being watched over. These are my angels out here. Watching over her, and that sort of put some relief in her, because she didn't think she was pretty and everything. So he was smart. I think they dated 3.5 years and then got married.
Wow. This might be a whole blab talking about kids and all that kind of stuff.
It's-
I wanted to.
Yeah, it's hard on parents. It's really hard on parents.
Well, listen, you guys, I have to go pretty soon because I do have to drive to San Francisco tonight.
Wait, what? Oh, you're driving tonight? I thought it was tomorrow.
Tonight, I got to be over in Woodland Hills. I'm supposed to be over there at 10:30, and I haven't packed yet.
Uh-oh.
Grief. Okay. Well, maybe Meg can get in here or Cheryl can get back in here. I did want to say number 10, John is saying maturity. That is interesting. What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's true. You know, it's like you have to be able to own who you are and what you do, and the fact that everything that you do has an impact on your kids and on your relationship. So, you know, you either need to own up to it and be accountable for who you are, or, you know, you're going to blame it on everybody else.
Cool. John, so what made you pick that one?
It's just the last thing they were really in depth talking about. We kind of picked on Barry a little bit, said he was immature, and then Susan admitted she was immature.
Shut up. Don't tell me that.
But I think that is actually one of the things that I did this morning was I went and looked on I love psychology.com. And that was actually on 2 of the studies that they've done in the last, I guess I did a 10-year research. And that was actually one of the top 5 on 2 different studies was level of maturity.
I mean, I agree. I think maturity is important, but I think maturity has to do with being accountable for who you are and what you do and what you believe in and what you say and what you know, how you act, and being accountable for your actions. I think that's more what maturity is than, I don't know, that's just my opinion. I think that's what maturity is. It's about being accountable for who you are.
All right, y'all help me. I can't remember names of movies. What was the movie where a mom and dad thought it was World War III and they hid underground until the kid grew up and he finally got to come out? Anybody remember?
I remember that was interesting.
Well, the funny thing is he's still a little kid as a grown-up, and then he finally finds a girl he falls in love with, and then he had to admit, you know, one moment she was thinking, oh, he's just a dumb little kid, and he had to be an adult, you know. That's sort of what I was thinking when you brought that up. It's fun to be a little kid, but when do you really be an adult? You know,
Never.
well, we got to be at certain times. You know, girls want to see a guy stand up and be the man of the house. You know,
You have to be an adult when you're making choices, but
big
when
decisions.
you're having fun, you can always be a kid.
Right. That's sort of what I like. I don't want to be the grown up all the time. I want to be the kid still. But when it's very important decisions, I got to be the grown up. You know. So.
I mean, it's like when you're dealing with health decisions, when you're dealing with money decisions, when you're dealing with
Stressful decisions, yeah.
job decisions. I mean, you kind of have to be an adult. When you're having fun and playing with the kids, you can be a kid. I mean, I don't know that any of us ever become total adults. I mean, some people do because they choose to. Then they get very boring.
Yep.
Too serious.
I said that out loud, didn't I?
What?
And it's on tape.
Damn.
I don't know if kids know what we're talking about when we say tape or records anymore, what we're talking about.
No.
Don't even start with that.
What did you mean by baggage, carrying baggage? Because I think
Just bringing baggage from past relationships into your current relationship, carrying that baggage. I made the joke if guys like to be the hero. We talked about that last night, and I said, you never see Superman, flying through the air with some luggage behind him, carrying baggage or a trash can of stuff. He's always taking on the world. So you can't be the hero if you're carrying baggage.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all reminded me of Steve Martin, old days. He had to leave. All I got to do is go with my remote control, my chair. Remember how he kept on adding and baggage?
I only need them. No, Meg says kids are considered baggage to some people. True. Exes are baggage. Yeah. Depending on if you could let it go or not, I suppose.
Well, y'all, I know Susan will know and John will know. They are baggage in a way, but what days do you remember that just blow your mind? You can't believe what a blessing it is to have a kid. They do something that just amazes you.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that overrides all baggage,
Well, the thing, baggage is only baggage if it gets in the way.
True.
Baggage can transport you too, though.
What'd she say?
She says baggage can transport you
Or
too,
at least help you to transport.
especially if you pack it well. You know.
Oh my God, you guys are.
We'll
so
have
funny.
another one on women's vacation baggage. You know, what's the difference of a man and women's baggage?
No, I just buy it when I get there.
50 pounds is
50 pounds of baggage at least.
Well, you better go pack, Susan.
Yeah.
I want to address two things more. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, just one. Number 7, trust, unfaithfulness, and jealousy. I relate that back to the thing about being authentic.
Yep.
If you can be real, then, and if you know who you are, you don't have to worry about somebody cheating on you, because if they do, they just don't deserve to have you. And if you can be who you are and be authentic and real, chances are, if you have somebody who is also being authentic and real, they're not going to cheat on you. They're going to tell you the truth. And as long as you are operating in this realm of honesty and authenticity, you don't really have to worry about that.
You know, that is really, I think that's probably the best thing that was said tonight. That is very, very true. And I love the way that you put that. So that was super profound. I loved it. It's true. Just be a real person. Just be authentic and real. And yeah, exactly. I love it. What do you guys think about that? I think it was great. And it's all quiet.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think it's definitely true, and I think that's what you started with by saying. In fact, that was, I tell when I tell my story about relationships, I joke that I had a bad picker.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the skill set, is how I put it in the program. But I told my friends, I have a bad picker. I just picked the wrong girls. I attracted the wrong girls to me, or I was attracted to the wrong girls, wrong type of girls. And infidelity became a big part of the relationship, or the demise of the relationship. And I had to learn that it's on them. It's not me. Maybe there was things that I did, but really ultimately, if they can't come to me and say, I need this, I want this, or this needs to change, then it really reflects on them, not on me. And I had to get to the attitude of being, and where I'm at today is like, your loss. If you do that, that's on you. That was your thing. If it made you happy, awesome. I still love you, but take care. Your loss.
Yeah.
Feel it. Yeah.
And I tell my clients this all the time. Look, if who you've chosen can't step up and be who they claim to be, they don't deserve to have you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when you say that. And I know I've heard you say that to so many of your clients when they're like, oh, well, he didn't do this and he did that and he didn't do this. And it's like, they don't deserve to have you. Next. Yeah. I mean, that's Susan's thing. I've heard her say it 3 bazillion times. Next.
We're driving across the country, and I'm talking to a client, and she's sitting there, she's driving, and she's laughing at me because she's heard what I've said so many times that.
Oh, I can. You don't even need to be on these blabs. I can say exactly what you're going to say. I've said it a million times. But it's true. They don't deserve to have you. People need to think that way more. Especially, I mean, I just always say, especially women, I think women are, a little bit crazy, but they tend to, we need someone for that. I need someone to be the daddy to my kids. Or I need this. I need someone to support me and take care of me. There's that group of women. I mean, it's not every.
The other part is that, he lied to me, but it was just one time. And we could deal with that. And, okay, that'll change. And maybe he did this, or maybe he did that, or maybe she did this, or maybe she did that, whatever. And it's like, stop it. Don't settle. Do not settle for less than what you want. Because if somebody doesn't match your values and match what you're looking for and match the integrity and the honesty and the authenticity that you're looking for, they don't deserve to have you. And so just say next.
Yep.
Don't try to fix them.
Oh God, no. Yeah, don't do
I've
that.
had so many clients who say, oh, well, he'd be perfect except for this and I can fix that. No, you can't.
Don't try. Yeah, I make jokes about that, and it's so true. If I'm not doing something and they would like me to, I'll do it because I like her, not because she wants me to. You know, it means I'll have respect for her. And that's something, girls, you're going to slap me out. Maybe give me points before they take them away. But the little flippers out there, the fingers, you know. If you make 10 rules and you say, I'm not dating or marrying anybody until they make those 10 rules, you're never going to get married probably. You know, those rules will change. Just give it time. When you were young, what were your rules like then? When you get into your 30s, what are your rules like? 40s, what are your rules like?
It's honestly, it's about values.
No, but there's certain things you can't match 100%. I haven't seen anybody's matched 100%. And if you did, dang, you're lucky. How in the world do you find that?
No one's going to be perfect. I tell my clients this all the time. No one's ever going to be perfect.
Well, that's what I meant. If they make it too big. If you remember some of those funny shows where you can't marry this guy unless he does these things and she has to mark them off and finds out, that's not love. That's, you know, that could be your best friend more than your relationship.
That's a test.
Yeah, it's not the right way.
And I love what Beth/Meg says. It depends. There are certain things you won't tolerate, and Susan uses that word an awful lot too about toleration. That, you know, it's like, what will you tolerate? I mean, it can be the silliest thing, right, Susan? From a burned out light bulb to, you know, something really horrible. So you got to figure out what you're going to tolerate.
Make a toleration list. I mean, I have a new toleration list this week. It's the fact that I have no water running in my sink. So when I turn the water in the sink, it runs under the sink and not in the sink, and that's a problem.
Put cups under there, catch them.
I have no internet on my Mac because for some reason my whatever thing is doesn't work. And my spa is not hot anymore. So I'm tolerating these 3 things right now that it's really frustrating me.
Yeah. But the sun still comes up. You know, we still got air to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Meg, you're absolutely right. You know, drugs, no, that's intolerable. But everyone should have a toleration list. And really what's on the toleration list should be everything from the burnt out light bulb in your closet so you can't find what you want to wear, all the way to I hate my life. You know, it's not the way I want it to be. And I tell everybody, make a toleration list. And that toleration list it's a work in progress. It's not like you do it once and it's over. You do it once and then you mark things off as they disappear and you add things on as they appear. Like my 3 things that appeared this week.
Okay. Before you go, talk about that, Susan. Help me. I probably could be the one needing the most help out of that. What about people? We had a lady on the other day, and I'm not going to mention her name or get her, so hopefully she won't kill me, but she was saying she tried to get her boyfriend to understand she wanted new cologne, and she would show it to him. She would try to spray it, and there's nothing in it. I mean, she just tried to give hints. I want you to buy this. But she wouldn't come out and just say, would you buy me this?
Yeah.
I mean, that is, like, to my opinion, crazy. I mean, it's so simple just to cut it in a couple of words, and that time would have been saved so much easier.
I teach all the women that I work with
to
learn how to ask for what you want and ask for it in a way that the person you're asking absolutely understands and can hear what you're asking for.
I wanted you to add in some things. If you think about it, make it to where we want to buy it for them or want to get it for them, not because we have to or you must or I'm going to leave you if you don't do this. It's like, what? You know, there's a problem in this, you know.
Yes.
Did you read what Meg?
I love it, man.
I want to get too nice.
We're going to do premarital lab counseling. I love it.
I believe everybody needs counseling, even me.
$99.99 with the free
$99.
You understand that is why I quit doing couples coaching. I quit doing it because every time I did it, I would make them tell the truth and they would end up getting divorced because they had lied to each other all the way for years and years and years.
They wouldn't talk to each other probably, right? Did they talk to each other?
You know, it was like they got married for the wrong reasons in the first place. And it's like, yeah, premarital lab counseling, that's terrific. It's like, this is why I like coaching the single people. So I can say to them, look, figure this out first. Do you have chemistry? Do you have compatibility with your deal breakers? And do you have love and respect? If you have that, okay, you got a foundation. You got something to start with. It doesn't guarantee it's going to work, but at least you got a place to start.
Does he even brush his teeth? You know, I mean, do you like yellow teeth?
All right, you guys, I really have to go because I don't even have clothes to take with me, and I'm supposed to be in Woodland Hills at 10:30, and it's.
Okay, Susan, I have a question. Why are you leaving for San Francisco? You won't get there till morning.
I know.
You're nuts.
I'm not driving. I'm going to sleep.
Well, go see Meg because she's up there. You know, she's going right up by her. So
I'll be right down the street. That's where I am.
San Francisco.
You guys get on a blab together while you're up there. We'll do a blab next
I know.
week.
I'm going to have to go to her house, though, because my daughter told me I'm not allowed to talk about my coaching or anything while her mother-in-law is
Take
there.
your phone. Your phone will do it, right?
Oh, my gosh, that's funny.
My daughter told me, she said, this is the rules, Mom, when you're coming this time, because my mother-in-law is coming. I'm like, okay, what are the rules? She said, I told Jason he's to keep Nancy's wine glass full and yours empty.
We know Susan. She's been on a blab where she's like, okay, everybody, here we go. She's slurring, like, food her out of here. Yeah, don't give Susan any wine.
So she's already said I can't drink. I can't drink while I'm there. I cannot talk about my coaching. I am not to do any coaching calls in front of her mother-in-law. And I don't know. She gave me.
Does she need your services or what?
My mother-in-law? No, she's married.
Okay, so you need to just go visit Meg and get on a blab with us. Meg, Susan's coming to stay with
I'm going to Meg's house to do it.
Anyway.
Be careful.
All right.
I guess we won't see you until after Thanksgiving. I was gonna say we ought to get a Thanksgiving time together, but
I'm taking my computer, and my Mac will work up there. It doesn't work here because my Asus thing doesn't work. But when I take it with me, it will work up there.
Okay.
And I'm going tonight, and I'll be back on Sunday.
Okay, so set up a couple labs and let us know when it is, and let's do a couple while you're there.
I'll keep track of you guys. Just send me texts. I'm not going out of communication. I still have my phone. You know, I'm not going to the ends of the earth. I'm just going 400 miles north. That's all.
Okay. Bye, Susan. Have a
Bye,
great
Susan.
trip. Be careful.
Good night.
Love you guys.
all right.
Safe
bye-bye.
travels.
This was a good blab. You did good.
Very good. Well, we can go ahead. You know what? Let me just end it. Okay, you guys, we're gonna end this blab. We kind of got off it, but Susan, you didn't really introduce yourself. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick and put your website up there, and then we'll go ahead and close this thing out. And you guys can give yours too.
Susan Shepard. The name of my company and my website is gettingwhatyouwant.com. I coach single people with broken or wounded hearts that really want to be in a relationship again and don't know what to do next. And I've been doing it for 25 years, and I have a great track record, and I love it. I love what I do. So if you want to talk to me, just go to my website, gettingwhatyouwant.com, put in a request, and I'll talk to you for 90 minutes for free. After that, I might charge you, or I'll tell you to go somewhere else.
Wow, that's a long time.
Okay. Oh, Barry, tell us where to find you.
Right now, I'm still just sales. I'm a guy, an affiliate doing sales, teaching people how to build your business. If you want to have a product and me get you real big out there, go to, tobecomeanaffiliate.com. It's right above where you see my little picture. Click on it and you'll find it. And then I have another one. I got too many to show y'all, but just find me on Facebook. Ask me any questions about business stuff, and I want to help you. Because if you're in a relationship, you want to be able to afford taking your girl on a date. So let me help you. And if it's women, you know, how to outmake more money than your boyfriend can just to tick him off, you know. So
You are a goofball, Gary, but we love you
I
so
want
much.
people to learn one thing. Have fun in your job. Don't do it because you have to. Have fun, you know.
I agree.
Love it.
I used to fire people if they weren't having fun.
Oh, that's too funny.
No, when I was the ER manager, I fired people if they were not having fun dealing with the chaos. If they didn't love the chaos, they didn't belong in the ER.
Very good. All right, John, how to find you?
Mainly, you can reach me on Facebook or Twitter. I'm building a Facebook page or website rather right now. It's johnabirch.com. That's going to be up and running here in the next couple days. And I primarily do motivational speaking and personality-based coaching. So if you need those services, feel free to reach out. And my whole mission in life now is to remind people of their greatness.
I love it. That is awesome.
Too, by the way.
You are great.
You are too.
Thank you.
We're all great.
Oh my gosh. And I'm Sue Brooke. I'm discoveryyoureye.com. I love helping business owners or wannabe business owners start and grow their businesses. I love marketing, and I am passionate about people making their businesses stand out and be unique. And I also have discoveryoureyeBooks.com. I have a series of books similar to Chicken Soup for the Soul. My first book.
Those books.
What? Yes, you have books too. So our first book in
Discover Your Eye books. That's me too.
Yes, I know. I said that. Oh my gosh. Are you going to leave? Goodbye. I'm just kidding. So our first book is Discover Your Identity. We talked about that today. And our next one's Discover Your Inspiration, and we're looking for authors. So just go to discoveryoureyeBooks.com. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you soon.